Hello, everybody! Smaug the DM here, and today, oh my freaking god. Now, look, this year has been crazy. I don't know, honestly, what the hell happened here. This year already, let me just say, was like a blur to me. Like, what did I just go through? Like, really, there was so much going on, at least from my perspective, that I've been talking about to you guys. And incredibly, I've still been getting so much support. And what are we at right now for subscribers? 126? Holy shit! Like, yeah, guys, whatever the hell you are doing right now, please keep doing this. I absolutely, and I do this every year, I say this every time, I appreciate your support all so much. This year has been so crazy, and I'm going like, oh my god, what the hell happened to me? Basically, Smaug just got an upgrade, and everybody loves this upgrade. So, oh my freaking god. Oh, and this year there's so much to talk about in regards to... I think I'm going to just own it up and talk a little bit about my personal life. Just a little bit. I'm going to own it up this year. Especially for this end of the year video. So, what do I want to talk about first? Well, let's go through the beginning of like January all the way to like June. That was a crazy time for me because I was still in high school. And it's funny to think about it that now that, you know, I decided to go to college. I picked out the job that I wanted to go for, which is zookeeping. Interestingly enough, you guys might not know that. And it's crazy to think about that. Just like a few months ago, I was in high school, and I was like now starting to get timed. I was starting to get really invested in my high school at that point, senior year. You know, hanging out with friends all the time, doing D&D sessions, which I've uploaded onto the channel. And I mean, it's crazy to think about it. But then graduation hits, and then, oh my god, like, it's crazy to think about. You know, you were just in high school a few months ago, and you graduated from it. That alone, to me, already sounds crazy enough. That I passed through regular school. It's crazy to think about it. I mean, it's probably not astonishing to most other people, because it's all like, oh, come on, Smaug, what the hell are you talking about? Everybody could pass high school and shit. And it's like, yeah, not everybody. Do you see a lot of the other shows with other people that don't do so well and are trying to go back? It's like, fucked up, man. But I passed. That's a thing. That was just a rite of passage for me, just passing through high school. But the real challenge now was college. And I've talked about it over on the channel like every so often with the subscriber specials, that I got into college, and right around the time that I was getting registered and whatnot, I was getting this high spike of subscriptions to the channel, and by God, like, that's crazy to think about, that not only am I going to school and I'm doing all this crazy stuff, but then also you guys are supporting me by subscribing to the channel, because I've been even though I've not been pouring out as much content, I did at least put a video up a month. I made sure of that. So thankfully this year, I kept my New Year's resolution promise that I made last year. And I'd say a video a month, and I did that. There's at least 1 or 2 videos per month. Now, the June stuff and July stuff, that's a different story, and I'll talk about that in the area of grievances. But, I mean, just the big highlight of this year is going to college for the first semester and finishing up high school. Like, it's crazy to think about it. It is really, honestly crazy to think about it. And, I mean, probably a lot of you who are watching this are younger viewers, and I totally understand that. But let me give you a short life lesson here that I found out. Now, you may not be, like, ready even, you probably not even are close to going to college yet, but the feeling that you will get when you get into a school and everybody has the same subject as you is, in my opinion, just that much easier compared to high school where everybody's completely different. And I mean, sure, you've probably made friends with a lot of people and you were there for most of kindergarten up to high school, but the feeling when you get to go to college is crazy to think about it. But on the other hand, it does have its downsides, and you know what? I probably am going to talk about that in the area of grievances a hell lot more. Because essentially it's a little bit difficult to talk about without going to it. Now, this year did have a lot of its ups for me, but really, I mean, I'm going to say this, and I even hate to admit it. A lot of the stuff that happened this year, although personally is good for me, and to all of you, it's fantastic. But deep down inside, like, when I'm trying to do college work, it's killing me. It is killing me, and I really hate it. I really hate that. And I'm going to be talking about those two in the area of grievances. But let's continue on to the Q&A like I asked this year, and I'm hoping, please, somebody out there, give me something to work with. Some sort of question that I can answer. Oh my god. I never thought I'd get it, but I got it. Shout out to both Swords and Steelhawk. Thank you guys for at least putting something down for this Q&A. Alright, let's begin with my friend Swords here. What do you got, buddy? So, what's this first one? Am I going to be in another video? As I say... Yes. Dude, of course you could be in another video. I think we'll be planning that one here shortly. Here soon. What's the other one? Oh. Do you still use Windows Movie Maker? Yeah. I'm kind of ashamed of it, and I just haven't had the money yet for anything better. So, yeah, that answers that question as well. I still make a ton of videos with Movie Maker. Now to Steel. Let's see, what do you got? Oh my. 4 different questions? Huh. Wait, what?
Gone Freddy.
Dang it, dude. Alright. First question I cannot answer for you because that's an eventual idea for a video. Okay, number 2. Next top 13, always in October, dude. Unless it's a special, then I'd say fine. But October is usually when you're going to get your next top 13. Next playthrough after Evolution? I don't know. I'm probably thinking Gauntlet. That might be my next one, but that takes me about 2 or 3 hours, depending on the character. And then Operation Genesis. Hate to say this, dude, but I think for Operation Genesis' sake, I'm going to leave that one in the dark, and that's just going to be for me to play personally. I mean, thank you for giving me the game copy, man, but I think that's just going to be one of my side little things that I play in my own time, and I don't record it in, like, a live video for it. So, sorry, dude, but no, I won't be playing Operation Genesis in the future on the channel. And that's it for the Q&A, so I guess we'll get back to the regular stuff. Alright, well, now that that's done and over with, so what's the reveal this year? Because you're all probably asking yourself, oh, Smaug, you can't have an end-of-the-year video without something being revealed. And you're right. You're right. And I'm going to probably talk about this subject, too, in the area of grievances. It's like, I have a gigantic section for the area of grievances, and already a couple of those things I'm going to have to talk about in totally separate videos. It's my apologies for this, but it's oh my god. Oh my god. It's crazy. But what's the reveal this year? The reveal for this year is that Dinosaur Island Season 2 will be coming back. That is all I'm gonna say. I have finally decided that, you know, now that I've gotten a new situation and the locations are all completely different. They are all completely different. And it took me too damn long to write the script and everything for it. I couldn't do any of the teaser footage down here quite yet because quite frankly, I didn't have the right way of putting in my footage onto my computer. And I gotta wait till I get home to do that. And so, yeah. It's still crazy to think about the fact that, you know, I did this last year. I told everybody that this was going to be happening, and, well, you know what? F it. F it. We're going to the area of grievances right now.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
Okay. Here we go. The area of grievances this year is terrible. Let me just start off by making the obvious, like I stated earlier. Dinosaur Island Season 2 was canceled. Now, you're all probably frustrated and you're saying, Smaug, what the WTF? Where the hell is Season 2? And I do have my reasons, and some of them are pretty goddamn weak. I will admit that. And I 100% apologize for everything that has gone down about this. I'm so sorry, everybody. Well, here were my reasons. First reason, the script wasn't all completed yet. I mean, I've gotten to round 6 7 episodes, and even then, I was still writing them down somewhere else. I was about up to, almost my 20th episode. Yeah. This season was going to be huge, and, I mean, it's more than 8, alright? It's way more than 8, and I knew writing that amount of scripts in a short amount of time was going to kill me. Especially with piling on the schoolwork that I had, it was just going to be too much. Another reason is that I did not have all the dinosaurs in my possession. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to want to reveal this, but... Alright, you know what, F it. I'm going to reveal it. One of the dinosaurs that I wanted to get, and I'm still struggling to get currently, is Cryolophosaurus. Now, if you don't know what Cryolophosaurus is, it's basically the first apex predator of Antarctica and Australia when the two of the continents were combined in the late Jurassic. It's basically a theropod with a crest that curved on the top of its skull. It was like, its name literally is the Elvis Presley dinosaur. It's literally named off of Elvis Presley from like the 40s, 30s. That rock star guy, if any of you have even heard of him, which I'm hoping you have. So, yeah, and the trouble with getting Cryolophosaurus was the fact that it was like a major thing in the script in like the first early episodes, and I couldn't get him because he was too expensive to go get. You cost about like what, $200 freaking dollars? 200, maybe even more than that, for just one animal? I'm like, really? Why? This makes no sense. Oh my god. So, not all the dinosaurs that I wanted to get for the scripts, and I had them combined in the story, I could not obtain right around the time of June. Another reason was locations. You guys don't know this situation, but I did move. I constantly keep moving around Floridian houses just because we're trying to find something bigger and bigger and bigger to live in, and it's like, really, I did not ask for this. But outdoor locations were a difficulty to do, to at least find, because you need all of the settings that are pretty damn close to Season 1, or otherwise it won't work quite as well. And then some of the places that I wanted to, like, get to, I needed to figure out a perfect location for, and they're kind of tied into the script a little bit. So that was a huge difficulty, too, to get. And then, lastly, it was probably timing. I was not in Florida for the filming location for a very long time. I was probably down here in June for like 3 days. Max. Just because I got a job this year, and that's another thing that I do want to talk about is my work, and I'm not happy with work. Alright, let's put it at that. But with all those circumstances, that's why Season 2 was canceled, but not for this next year. No. I'm going to keep going with it. This year, I'm bringing it back, and when I come back down here for the summer, for next summer, I will tell you this. It will be done, and it will be out of the way so that I can get everything that I need to get, done for this whole season so that you guys can enjoy it all the way. when I edit them and then release them onto YouTube. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is something that happened earlier this year. This pertains to actually movies. And it's, of course, actually not obvious. You know what it is? It's Infinity War. And I'm like, and everybody's probably like, oh, in shock, like, holy moly, Smaug, like, you did not see this? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I did not. And you guys know, you all probably know, that I'm a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, if I haven't made this obvious. And they were in Infinity War. So, what's the deal with this? Well, I have begged, and I have literally begged my friends to go see this. And what I was not aware about when I talked to them before I did this was that they went to the preview night, which is essentially the night or two before the film is fully released out to the public, that they saw it in theaters. And I'm like, you mother effers. Really? You went and saw this way before I could, and that's why you did not want to take me to see this? Like, that's why you didn't want to go again? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh my god. And the issue with that was the fact that I had begged my friends the entire time, can we go see Infinity War? Can we go see Infinity War? And they were like, one day they would say, yeah, why not? Let's book it in. Book in the tickets. Let's do this. And then the next day they all say, Smaug, okay, listen, maybe we shouldn't go on this day because I've got like 500 billion things to do. Because so-and-so is asking me to do this, and I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I knew they were lying like the entire time. It's just, it was so frustrating to get tickets to go see it. But around November, I did get a chance to go see it, finally, on DVD. And I want to do a review for it. And I'm not sure if you guys want me to do a review for it, because I have not seen any of the other Avengers. I've not seen 1 or 2, just the Infinity War one. And then hopefully, Endgame when it comes out eventually. I'll probably go see that. But if you guys want me to review it, if you want me to honestly review it, and probably just say the exact same thing other reviewers have told you way months earlier, then leave it down in the comments down below. Do you want me to review Infinity War again or not? Because that was a spectacular to see, by the way. And then to add insult to injury, Stan Lee's death. I found out about it the day after he died, and I mean, to be honest, I am devastated in the fact that he did die. Because he made so many cameos in all these superhero movies, and he's the one who started all this. He's the one who started all these superheroes together. So, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of superhero movies in my lifetime. I'll be totally honest with you. But you know what? I respect the man for what he did. And I just want to say, rest in peace, man. You did your job. And you did it fucking fantastic. And you've made fans all over the world of superheroes. So, props to you on that. And then, speaking of which, another famous person who died, which kind of ties into the next thing that I want to talk about, is Steven Hellenberg. Now, if you don't know who he is, that's no big shocker. I don't think anybody would know who he is unless you really are a fan of the series itself. But he's the man responsible in creating SpongeBob SquarePants. And as a kid, I watched that show like crazy when I was a kid, and it's another sad moment to say that the creator of SpongeBob passed away too, and that was one of the people that made me like laugh all the time. SpongeBob SquarePants, because it's such a good show, and it's crazy to think about. If that man did not draw SpongeBob, we wouldn't have the show as it is today, sort of. I still like the 90s SpongeBob, alright? 90s SpongeBob is still better. Not today's version of SpongeBob, I will admit that. Yeah, but then this ties into a lot of the shit that's happened this year. Which is one word. I'm all fitting this into one gigantic word, and I might even just make a totally separate video of it. But, here we go. Nostalgia. If you did not hear that, it was nostalgia. Oh my god! The number of things that have come out that my childhood experience is like going crazy for. My inner kid is going insane with how much has happened this year that came from my childhood. It's crazy to think about it. Let me talk about the obvious. The obvious first few. Fallen Kingdom coming out. I knew that was coming. I wanted to see it movie so bad. And I got to. And I was happy with that. But then the real killer. Jurassic World Evolution. I still cry to this day. And I am thankful for Frontier for making this game possible. I've always wanted to play Operation Genesis. And I keep saying that a lot. I've always wanted to play Operation Genesis. And I should thank Steelhawk for giving me a copy of the game. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. But Evolution just, like, cranked it up for me in Genesis department, and I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the game. And I do love what it does, and I hate to put it down here in the area of grievances, but it just came at the wrong time. It came at the wrong time for my childhood to be interfered with my higher up education. Basically, this is what this section is talking about, alright? Another thing that had to go this year was FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. Ultimate Custom Night, I wanted to play in October, never got the chance to record that, so that was my fault. Because I wanted to do my challenge, and I couldn't do it. It was hard for me. I was surprised on the difficulty I made it for myself to even do my own challenge. It's stupid. Because you couldn't delete any of the characters. That was a part of the challenge. You could not delete a single character. You had to have all those characters at that certain level in order to, like, play the game legit. And if you beat that whole night, then bravos to you. But the end of FNAF and, you know, Scott Cawthon doing what he's doing right now, congratulations, man. You did it. I'm so proud of you for what you did. You made it a part of my childhood. Let's put it that. Then we have And this is not even really, you know, childhood or whatnot, but I just want to throw it under nostalgia because I can. But High School DxD Hero. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Look, I had the courage to watch the rest of season 4. Because right away when I got into it, I was like, oh my god. Because the artwork didn't look right, everything was just bigger, and it's like, oh my fucking god, please, please. But surprisingly, if you go through it, and Swords, I'm pretty sure you're watching this, but I'm actually gonna say this to you, man. I recommend watching season 4 just because it's getting into more Japanese mythology, like, for once, which I found extremely surprising. I found that surprising. In all this, in that whole show, if anything came out of it, it was more mythology. I'm like, oh my god, finally. But if you got past, like, everything else that makes the show somewhat great, you know what? The dialogue is actually pretty freaking funny. I found myself cracking up at a bunch of times, and I legit was like, wow, I should have watched this, like, so much earlier. And, of course, I was in college around the time of this, so this was completely fine now. I'm like, yeah, F this! I'm so watching this! Oh, I became a rebel. And then, now more recently, actually, and I just found this out a couple days ago, is that Clone Wars is finally back. And surprisingly enough, I watched Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series when it came out in 2008? Yeah, 2008. Wow, holy shit. That's like 10 years ago, and they're bringing back another season? What the hell? And right now I'm kind of, watching back the old show, and I'm going like, I still effing remember the times when I sat down in, like, middle school, and all we talked about was Clone Wars, which was surprising. This is probably surprising to a lot of you that I enjoyed Clone Wars when I was a kid as well. That was another thing that we always talked about was Clone Wars. I'm like, yo, what the hell? This is such a good show. Like, why cancel this? But they're making another season and for 2019, and I'm just going like, oh, this is gonna kill my nostalgia too. Great! Great! This is so wonderful. Yeah, but let me get down to another thing that I want to talk about. Okay. I've collected all my thoughts together, and here we go. College, I'm gonna teach you a life lesson here, is effing hard. And you might always hear the occasional teacher always say to you, oh, the next grade up is gonna be more difficult, and wow, and that's not really true for most of your school life. Most of your school life, it's going to be pretty easy, surprisingly. Just as long as you keep up with your studies, with your studying, and you do your homework and whatnot, you're completely fine. You're completely fine. But when they tell you senior year that college is going to be really hard, take that as a warning to every single one of you who wants to go to college. I am so serious right now. If you are planning to go to college, be prepared. Because there's going to be a lot of shit that's just going to be hammered upon you. And I'm not a really, really, like, high sciencey school. I mean, it's a university, But still, it is, like, tough as shit to get through. It's a grind. It's a effing grind to get through this. But let me just talk about this. Academics. Let me just say, those books that those teachers hand you in high school and they just never use or you'll never use once in your life, you are so freaking wrong when you go to college. You have to read those books the second you get a hold of them. And the second you get a hold of them, start reading the effing chapters. That's my recommended advice. If once you get the book, I highly recommend you start reading the section, even if you have not gone to a lecture or anything like that. Just start reading the damn book. And then start making flashcards or look on YouTube for helpful videos, whatever you need to do. So basically, my first point of advice when it comes to academics, as soon as you get the book, start studying. Even way before your lecture. Just get everything down so that when the first lecture comes, it comes naturally and it's easier for you to understand it all. And next thing I want to talk about, every time you're going into lecture, if the teacher has PowerPoints on their classroom, or as I would have it for my college, a blackboard, whatever, if they put their PowerPoints up with the notes on them, print them. It made my life so much easier by printing them. But if you rather take notes and do that, that's completely fine. I'm just saying be prepared, because a couple of my professors have gone really damn quick when it comes to writing shit down. And it gets to a point where I have to flip to the next page and they're already off at like 4 slides as soon as I move on to the next page. I'm like, what the hell? I'm trying to get everything down. I'm like, it's like, it's nuts to think about that, but that's another thing that you gotta be aware. If you're that person that absolutely needs to write shit down on a piece of paper to understand it, like I do, then just be prepared to go nuts, to go literally insane, because it is way easier if you just print out the damn slides if they're available to you. And then another piece of advice. I want to say this. Study. And this is not like the 30-minute bullshit that you probably did in high school. You probably need to study at least 2 hours on a subject, like I did. I mean, for math, yeah, pretty much you can't do that. That's, like, literally impossible to do. But try to study everything else for, like, 2 hours, and you'll do pretty damn well. Another thing I want to recommend, when finals come around, don't do anything stupid. I'm so serious. Like, and this is going to be the next part I talk about, is the residential life, which is really, really going to be hard to talk about, considering the fact that there's so much crap that happened in terms of my experience. But just before finals, like a week or 2 before finals, do not go to parties. Do not try to drink so much that you're getting drunk. Do not smoke some weed that's so ridiculously high that you can't even stinking stand it. And it just worries me a lot that this is what happens the second that our parents are gone, that they are out of our lives. That's what we do. We start drinking our asses off and we start doing drugs like crazy. And I am crazy about not doing any of those things, and it's probably for good reasons, but what I'm just saying is, when it comes to finals, don't do any of that shit, because you're gonna so fuck up. Because if your grades cannot be caught up, like if you're doing really poorly in a class that you know you gotta study for, like, don't do any of that. Just study goddamn straight for like 4 hours. 4 hours is my recommendation to like really difficult classes. But even then, that's like stretching it, because you're still going to class. But other than that, I've collected everything, and this next part may get a little heavy, so here's a warning to every single one of you. If you are grossed out, if you usually get grossed out really quickly, if you can't stand the things that I'm going to say, like, if you just get grossed out a lot, and there's sexual content, I think that's going to be in there, that I might talk about, I don't know. But if you are not a fan of those two things, just walk away now. Run the fuck out of here. Like, close out this video. You don't need to really watch the rest of it. Alright? But for the rest of you who can handle this, stay. Please. Because I do have a message at the end that I want to say. But residential life. Now, a whole lot of my friends, luckily, are commuters. Now, not to say the least that commuting sucks, because, you know, you have to pay extra. And it's like, and I'm telling them, it's like I said, I'd rather be a commuter than be a residential. Because residential life, at least from my college, sucks. It is garbage. And when I'm talking about garbage, it's, oh my god. Look, I love my roommate, I do, but my neighbors are complete assholes. During the first half of the first semester, you are going to feel like a freshman in high school. It is exactly that. Freshmen in high school and freshmen in college are the exact same damn experiences, and it's annoying as fuck that I have to go through that again. Only this time, everybody gets bullied. Everybody. There is always some person that's getting some sort of drama into their life at this point now. When you're in college, nonetheless. If you've never had any drama experience, you're gonna get it at college. And if you don't want any of that in your life, well then, don't go. Because that's what's gonna happen to you if you go to residential for the first time. Is that drama's gonna come down, hit hard on you, and you're not gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely hate it. All the way. It's pure bullying, in my opinion. But let's put it at this. What about the other stuff that I wanted to talk about that's gross and disgusting and whatnot? Alright, first off, the neighbors are complete a-holes during the first semester. Pranks, at least for the boys, are a huge fucking deal. And I'm going, what the fuck? And here's when it got really bad. First things first, and of course these things seem minor to lots of people, but to me, they were a fucking pain in the ass to deal with. First things first, people kept knocking on my door so damn hard, it sounds like somebody's going to break into my dorm and fucking kill me. That's how loud they hit the fucking door. Like, how can you do this? And then at one point, they eventually break my goddamn door. And I'm like, You sacks of shit. I'm like, really? Really? This is not necessary. It's basically the hinges on my door basically fucking broke. And it was off-center, so it couldn't actually shut, and I had to call in security for that. I'm like, oh my god. And that's not even the worst part. I'm getting through all the minor shit so that you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Now, I don't know if any of you do this, but vaping. Vaping is a huge fucking problem. It happened during my high school days, like around the end of my high school years, I could start smelling shit that I knew was fucked up. And it's this thing called vaping, and it's apparently the new smoking. So you're not smoking tobacco, but you're just sticking yourself with some nicotine. And then just blowing it out into like a gas with a device. And that's supposed to have flavor and shit, and then I'm like, I don't even smell the goddamn flavor. All I smell is fucking gas. And I will even admit this. You guys doing the vaping, that vape gas smells like polluted air. It smells like clear, polluted air, and it's fucking disgusting. I'd rather take smoking a cigar or a cigarette, that stench, over the vaping stench. And if you've lived with people that smoke a lot, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. The difference in the smell. I can't really describe it, but that's the best way I'm going to say it. Is the vaping thing, and it gets out of control for me, and it fucking stinks every time I come back to the dorm after class. It stinks. And I wish my generation did not do this as a thing, because now this is like an addiction for a lot of people. And I just feel like fucking terrible. Smelling it every goddamn day. Alright, fine, I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Next thing, the alcohol issues. Listen, we are all 19 years old. Alright? Let me put it at this. At 19 years old, freshman year in college, I don't think our RAs should say, you know what, you can drink, but just as long as we don't see you do it, that's completely fine. Then it's completely fine. I was so afraid when our RAs told us this. I was so afraid of this, and I'm like, yeah, these are going to be RAs that don't give a shit. Let's put it at that. And that's another thing I want to talk about, too, is that the RAs, whenever I made a report on something, there would be nothing replying back, and there would be no punishment involved. And I'm going, what the fuck? And this is probably all, like, non-existent with you, if you're in college. This is probably all non-existent, but to me, this all happened. This is legit. First semester, these are my thoughts on how bad it was, for me at the least. But, oh my god. So, they didn't care, and there was no punishment. The hallways would get completely screwed up with trash and stuff like that, and I'm like, guys, do you not know how to put stuff outside? You could just literally walk out in the cold, put on a fucking jacket and some shorts. Put a freaking jacket on with some pants, take your shit outside that you don't want in your room, and throw it out into the can. It's like not even 5 feet in front of you. It's like not even 5 feet away from you. Like, come on now. Please. Please. And what's funny enough is that another complaint that I really didn't have as much, because I'm normally like this, But the 2 floors of females that we had in our dorm, so basically our dorm was like the upper and lower floors were all females, and then the mid floor was just us guys. And so every night, they would come down and basically yell at us for being too loud. Because they go to bed at, like, completely early timings, and I'm like, oh my god. Girls, what the hell? But that's alright. I'm not complaining. Because I'm usually passed out by the time I have my ugh, God, I cannot talk anymore about it. Alright. Now to the gross stuff. First thing I want to say is that this didn't happen to me, but this happened to a neighbor of mine. One of the pranks involved there was the fact that somebody threw Tabasco sauce all over this dude when he was in the shower. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, really? Really? It's like, dude, seriously. Oh my god. But even then, it still pisses me off. Like, really? Really? Next thing I want to say, and this gets pretty bad. And I might even have to censor it. Just so that younger viewers don't have to hear it. But here we go. First things first. Alright, how am I gonna... Okay, that's a good way of censoring it. They put a piece of rubber filled with liquid, of some white liquid, on my doorknob. Somebody actually did that. And for all you older people, they would understand what that means. I'm just censoring it out for the younger viewers who are somehow still here because they think they can handle it. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, you guys can handle it. But that one is just the worst part. Was that I had that stuck on my doorknob, and I'm like, oh my god. Please. And I felt like I was literally tortured the whole time. And I haven't even gotten to the best part. The best part were the bathrooms. Oh my god. There was somebody's hair in the sink. Always. Somebody had, whenever they were finished with their ramen noodles, would stick their noodles down in the sink drain and just leave whatever noodle pieces were left on the covering so that when you were trying to use the sink, all the water would just build up. Then the toilets. Clogged every single weekend with something. Toilet paper was all over the place, and it just... Oh my god. And to be honest with you, I'm getting fined for this. And I'm not the one who's doing it, because every weekend I come home. Because I'm so just like, alright, I need to get the F out, because it's a weekend, and everybody's gonna do their shit, so I'm getting out. And then when I come back, I look at the bathrooms, trying to go use the bathroom, and there it is. And I'm like, really? Really? Whoever's doing this, you suck. So, yeah. Thanks. And that's all I gotta say for residential life. I mean, you guys probably had similar experiences, maybe not, but for me, that's what killed college for me, was the residential life, and how effing terrible it was. Terrible! Terrible! But now to my last point. The final area of grievances that I'm willing to talk about is Fallen Kingdom, and more specifically, the death of Nublar, and the one particular scene that is involved with it. Now, I know from reading the novel that Nublar had to go. I even knew that going into this film, like, okay, Nublar's done. Nublar's going to be gone in a volcanic eruption. I respect that over the napalming in the book. But it was still hard for me to see that in the theaters. That was still hard for me to watch. And I was not prepared for the one scene that still kills me to this day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to I want to talk about the significance of that scene. You know what? Fuck it. I want to talk about the significance of the Brachiosaur death in its entirety, because to me it was something personal. Watching that scene over and over, not only does it remind me that this was the Brachiosaurus that I saw in the first film, and I love the first film so damn much. Not only that, but it connected with me at a certain level to a point where, you know, in 2018, this was the year that my childhood had to die. And I don't know if you guys would make that connection, but it just, to me, it sounds like when the Brachiosaurus is moaning and telling the boat to come back, that's the significance of me. That is my childhood screaming at me to come back. Come back, don't go away, please, as I watch it die under all volcanic ash. That's the significance of that, and I tear up to this day, not only because of that, but my personal experience with that scene, and how it just reminds me that was the day my childhood died. That was the day I had to let go of my childhood in order to go to college. And, I mean, quite frankly, the childhood is still alive somehow, but it still kills me. That scene still kills me to this day. And that is the one moment I can legitimately say in any movie I can't watch. I cannot watch without tearing up like a madman. And I showed this to a couple people, and I had to literally walk away when the scene happened, because I knew I would cry in the background. I would cry the second I saw the scene. Because it is just, I just want to say, it was beautifully done, and it got to me. It got to me on a level that I did not want to get to. And, yeah, story of my life right there. It was just hard to see, it was just hard to let go of Nublar, after so many years of enjoying the movies. It was really hard. But other than that, I mean, all the other shit that's coming out with nostalgia is just killing me. It is literally killing me, and it's affecting me a little bit with my grades and whatnot. But I'm done with the area grievances. That was honestly tough to go through. But what are my final thoughts on this year? My final thoughts, I'm going to put it at this, was that this was my year. I know you guys have been in such great support, and I do appreciate that. I 100% am with you on that. But I feel like this year goes to me more than it goes to you. And I'm sorry if I have to talk about that, but yeah, I feel like this year belongs to me more than it does to you guys. And I will make that completely different in the next year when it comes to that. So, yeah. And I just feel so grateful that you guys have continued to watch my content, regardless of when it comes out. And you still enjoy the content that I do, and I 100% appreciate that. There's a lot of shout out to a lot of people out there that I want to talk about, and I want to give a whole lot of thanks to, especially towards the end of the year. That's when a lot of people were like actually coming up to me and talking to me about this. But overall, it was a great year, despite everything else that's been going on, especially with YouTube now getting concerned by European law, which I'm not even going to discuss in this video, because when I did that, nobody really paid attention to. So, I mean, yeah, this is it, guys. 2019 is literally around the corner, and I don't know what to expect. I literally do not know what to expect other than a whole ton of nostalgia. Let's put it at that. And what's going to be my New Year's resolution? All right. My resolution this year, and you guys may hate me on this, but my resolution this year is to not do any content while I'm at school. I know it's hard to hear that one, but if I continue doing a thing a month, that's still fine. I can still manage to do that. I just can't do it when I'm in school. Because I truly have to understand that this is what I have to work on, is not doing any videos in the mid-semester. If there's something that happens, like in a game or whatnot, like DLC for Evolution, then fine. I will probably upload that. I will get that in very quickly and upload it. Done. Don't need to do anything else. That's fine. But other things such as like maybe a D&D video every once in a while, or something like that, you probably may not get until like a weekend. That'll be my goal. And maybe over spring break and summer break, that's when content may be coming out a little bit more hand. So just be prepared for that. Just be completely prepared for that to come out. But other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this video and cannot wait for 2019, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. And then in the comments down below, let me know of your experiences from 2018. Let me know what you guys thought about it this year. And do you want me to review Infinity War? Do you guys want to see an Infinity War review for that movie, at the very least? Because I may be saying a lot of the same things that other people may have already said. Just in my own opinion. But other than that, guys, until next time, I am the DM, and I will see all of you next year.
Nostalgia, gonna make money of your childhood. Hey,
That's wrong.